Hang Time is part of the Globally Balling Network, and you can check out our social media. That's facebook.com/globallyballin. Instagram, don't forget to follow us at Globally Ballin Official. And don't forget also to tweet us. You can tweet us your suggestions of who you want us to interview in all kinds of sports here in the Philippines. That's at Globally Ballin. And for all of our sports fans, we've got more shows for you here from the Globally Ballin Network. We have the Globally Ballin podcast, an eternity of basketball, hang time, and who the heck are we? Just check it out on our YouTube page. That's at Globally Ballin. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we release a new video. And we have a new network show. Help us welcome Who the Heck Are We for sports opinions and stories. It's available on Spotify and on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. If it's still not enough that ball is life, well, for all our shoot lovers, basketball lovers, we've got an eternity of basketball just for you, provided by the Globally Ballin Network. Again, available on Spotify and on YouTube. And for a quick and easy way to find us on all of our social media and all of our different shows, you can check it out. Our link tree that's on the site right there, and you can find the link at the top of all of our show descriptions. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hang Time with me, Denice Dinsay, and we will always be celebrating Women's Day, not just for March, but I believe every day. So now we're going to be guesting one of the up-and-coming legends in Philippine sports. I really do believe she's making quite a name for herself. We have national athlete Jamie Lim. Jamie, thank you so much for making time and for letting me make some cuento, and I look forward to hearing your cuentos.
Hi, Denise. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you too today.
Now, tell me, you have an interesting background. What is going on with you right now?
So right now I'm in Baguio. I've been here since Feb 1, so I'm training here for the SEA Games with the whole karate national team. So nakabubble lang kami dito, and so far okay naman. It's cold, so it's hoodie weather all the time, and okay naman siya. It's really great.
And you're in the summer capital of the Philippines. How appropriate now that we are welcoming summer here. So while all of us are sweating in Manila, at least you are staying cool and chill there in Baguio. Now, you mentioned, you're in a bubble. And when I interviewed you also the last time, you also came from a bubble. How is it like, during the pandemic, even if we're still in a pandemic, that majority of your time really has been spent in bubbles?
Yeah, it's super difficult. I mean, it sounds so ordinary now when you hear training bubbles, but it's difficult because you don't get to spend time with your family and you don't get to go out with friends just like before. It's really a big challenge that you really have to adjust to, especially this time sa pandemic, because it's so new to me. Training before, we would go to ultra lang and then go home, and so it's super different. Now you're just confined in one space the whole time. But the team, it's fun with them. So mas marami kami ngayon compared to last year because it's the whole SEA Games team. And this time, I think it's easier because I get to talk to my family all the time sa video call. So they make it a lot easier for me.
Now, you started taking your athlete career, I would say seriously, just in the later parts of your life, which was after you graduated from college, which is a bit new because, of course, we've known na talagang, athletes do start young. And while, of course, you also started young with your background and all, isn't it a bit harder to, continue when you're already, I guess, past your formative years, when you already, quote unquote, have a life?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was super difficult because nung 2019, that's when I came back to karate. I've been doing karate since I was 6 years old up until I started college, so 18 years old. 4 years I stopped and then I continued just because I wanted to do the 2019 SEA Games then, the same year as I graduated. And it was so hard because for 4 years, no conditioning, and then biglang you start training with the national team and then it's twice a day. It's so taxing on your body and your mind. But it was something that I embraced because I really wanted the SEA Games. I wanted that SEA Games gold. And I think nakatulong talaga yung how many years? 12 years of karate. Parang grabe yung foundation din, yung 12 years na yun. Parang it's still in me. That's why it wasn't as hard as it should have been coming back.
Exactly. 4 years is honestly like a lifetime when you talk to athletes with no conditioning. Like, let's be real. But you mentioned that your foundation kasi has been so strong and really, despite being gone for 4 years, the 12 years that you were very much active and participating, helped a lot in being able to bounce back. Can you tell us more, I guess, on what that foundation is and how was that established? Because 4 years, Jamie, 4 years.
Yeah, I'm sure you know, as in 4 years of nothing talaga. So, grabe yung hingal ko during the 2019 training in the latter part. But that 6 years old to 18 years old journey, I started out very bad in karate. So for 3 years, I kept losing and losing and losing until I won my first gold medal at 9 years old sa local tournament lang. But yung foundation is like the training and the attitude, I think, is more important. Like working hard and sacrificing and really working to win even though you keep losing for 3 years. So I think I imbibed all the values that I needed for me to survive that 5 months training for the SEA Games. It's being not a quitter, and it's just fighting and believing in yourself. I think helped me a lot. And of course, doing karate for 12 years, my body still remembers the basics. So that plus the values that I learned really helped me survive that journey.
I think it's good that you talk about that you during that 4 year period you encountered also, and when you went back that you encountered a lot of losses, because what people saw, this story really that was portrayed, of course, in the headlines in media was you coming back after a hiatus, winning a medal immediately and continuing in that path so smoothly. You know, very few really do talk about the struggles that you face, you know, the losses that you've had to encounter to be in the situation that you are now. Like, didn't you get disheartened, I guess, in that during those losses na parang, you know, how bad do I really want this 2019 SEA Games that I'm willing to take all of these losses? Because they're hard, you know, like losses do break down your confidence.
Of course, of course. So I remember after graduating 2019, I was thinking like, should I do this? Should I come back? Because parang I'm on a high, like summa cum laude. So valedictorian of College of Science. I should be celebrating instead of like starting a new life agad.
Exactly.
And but my heart really wanted that SEA Games. So when I came back to the national team, I joined an international tournament in Singapore. You know, tune up lang to see how I am. And I lost, and it was my first time to lose after 8 years. So my last loss I think was 2012 pa, or 2010. And so I was like, oh my, is this a sign that I shouldn't have come back to karate? Like, why am I losing? And then we went to Turkey naman for a training camp. I joined another tournament and lost again. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I made the wrong choice. So but the tournament after that, so I just kept working, and the tournament after that in Turkey, I got a gold medal in one tune-up tournament ulit. So that really boosted my confidence because I was so down after those two losses. It's just the same. Push lang ng push, and I'm already in it. So I just have to believe in myself and just keep working even though it's super discouraging. And of course, the family and the teammates, they really helped me. And I wasn't alone in those losses. So they were really pushing me up, and they said, it's normal. It's still not the SEA Games. Kaya pa yan. There's still time. And they all helped me, and that's why I got that gold medal.
What was so special about the 2019 SEA Games that was the time that you wanted to get back into karate?
It was because it was in the Philippines, and I know that the SEA Games is so special to the Filipinos, and it only happens every 14 years, I think, having it held in the Philippines. And to do that in front of my family, who supports me so much, that was gonna be the best ending to my 2019. So I took the chance, and so happy that it paid off.
So that is quite like a momentous thing, honestly. Like, I never knew that was the story behind it. So thank you for sharing that. It was, you wanted to bring your family, you wanted to make your family proud, and you wanted to also make the country proud. And now, like we talk about Women's Month, you know, we're celebrating, you know, women's victories. After everything that you've been through, everything that you just said a while ago, you know, it still takes a lot to make it to the top, especially being gone for so long, all the losses. Do you think, you know, that being a woman made the win more impactful?
Yes, of course. I mean, syempre it's still different, you know, when people hear karate, you don't
Yeah.
automatically think of women. You associate it with men. In martial arts in general. But I'm so happy that people are starting to recognize that women can fight just as well as men can. And we are fighters and we are strong. And if you look at the sport, it's not easy and it looks like it hurts, but kaya eh. So along with the other Filipina athletes like Heidelin, like Agatha
Mm.
Wong. So I love our attitude and I love how Filipina athletes are. And I think it represents the Filipinos in a great way. Na our Filipinas are fighters too.
How does it feel, I guess, to be a role model, and also to be part of the sports that people usually think is just for men, like what Heidelin did for weightlifting, sila
Yeah.
Agatha, even also see Pauline Lopez, that,
Mm-hmm.
and basketball, we're rooting for
Yes.
that, na usually these are male-dominated sports. In the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, the same, of course, it's different in other nations, but here in the Philippines, those are usually sports that are associated immediately with men. And now here you have
Mm-hmm.
women front line and center. They're the ones getting the goal. They're the ones garnering attention, and you're part of that movement. So
Oh,
how would you, I guess, how do you feel about the role that you didn't consciously place yourself, but the
mm-hmm.
situation did?
Yes, I'm very grateful to be part of this situation because I mean, looking back, I was just thinking about winning for the family and for the country. I didn't think that it would become another level. Being able to inspire other young women and females and the whole nation. I just appreciate the voice so much, and I love how it represents our country. I love how we are fighters and that we can do things just as great as men, and it's just really amazing sa feeling. Like I love it when young women say they can do it, and when they look at other female athletes and they say I can do that as well. So nagiging ibang level na rin yung women, and I appreciate that I can help in doing that.
What would you say, I guess, that you can also do even more, as an athlete, to making sure that women empowerment isn't just an event, it's not just a
Mm-hmm.
movement, but it is a culture, it is a way of life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just wanna continue doing what I do and just show the people. So it's funny how I share a lot of my life in TikTok or in
Yeah.
Instagram. And when people I see the comments and a lot of people are inspired. That really boosts me up as well, and it makes me want to keep going. And I'm just doing my job, but I can do other things like inspire people as well. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, and I just love the feeling of being able to do that while just doing my job. So it seems like it's very easy to do. I just have to
Yeah.
train, but I can also do this at the same time.
You're maximizing the platform that's been
Yes.
given to you, and it's like it's so wonderful, really, to see that you don't even think much of it, that it really is
Mm-hmm.
second nature
Mm-mm.
instead. But moving back to like what we talked about, foundations, now you are no stranger to athleticism. Your father is Samboy Lim.
Yes. Yes.
That in itself already, like, all the basketball
Oh.
fans, we are a basketball crazy country. Do you think, his image of being such a fearless basketball player? My dad wanted to ask this question. How do you think that kind of mindset, his kind of discipline and his principle of always putting his heart out in all the games that he played, influenced you as an athlete?
Mm. Oh, definitely. I think that I saw my dad and I watched a lot of his basketball videos and I saw how parang magpapakamatay siya para sa bola and he'd
That's
play
what they
like
all
his
say.
life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't think it was appropriate. Na parang, Denise, baka that's too much.
But I do hear it a lot. And like he'd play as if his life depended on it. So parang he would
Exactly.
jump so high. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what happens after that. As long as he gets the win. So I like it when I hear my coach. He compares me to a lion. Like he sees me when I fight and he says that this girl is a fighter and she's not afraid. And I just remember I just see my dad in me. Like that's how my dad really was and how I I fight is just like how he plays, and how I work, in behind the scenes is just like him. Because I remember he would go early sa gym and he'd be last one out. And I remember, especially in 2019, when I needed that extra work, doon ako mag-extra all the time. And I just think that I got that competitive spirit and that fighting spirit kay dad. So I'm really grateful for growing up with him, for the genes, and for growing up with him as an example.
Now, you are the definition of extra, really.
Oh, extra.
In a good way, because you know how like
Yes.
nowadays we have this such bad notion na why are you overperforming than what you're supposed to, but you've always exemplified that. You've lived that way, not because it is your standard, not because you just want to show off, but for you,
Mhm.
wala eh. Like, it's ingrained in you. And how do you stay consistent with being extra? Because it takes a lot also of energy, a lot of your time, and basically, really a lot from you to be able
Mhm.
to outperform each and every time.
Yeah. It's really just having the goal in my mind all the time, like reminding myself consistently, because it is true that it could be tiring. And of course, there are days where you feel like, oh my gosh, training is so tiring. But when you have that goal and you constantly remind yourself, and if you have a great support system, it becomes a lot easier. Because I'm so grateful to my family when I talk to them and when I'm tired. They really have a way to boost me and to push me. And when I want to rant about something, they listen and they understand. And when I feel that they do understand, it takes a lot off my load. And that's just how I keep pushing. It's because of them and because of my goal. So it all works out in the end.
And you stay so optimistic throughout it all. I think that's one thing that I've also seen, and a lot of people do admire about you, is your positive optimism. Actually, that's parang double na, but your positive outlook in life. Like, you're so light. You are light for, despite everything that's happened. And also, you're summa cum laude. Like,
Oh,
it takes a lot to get there. And we understand. We've
yeah.
all been students at one point, and being the valedictorian takes a lot of spunk, which you very clearly have. Where's the source of it all? Like, saan ka humuhugot? Like, cause I want me some of that.
So I think it's really from my family. I mean, my mom also, she's my best friend and she's my number one supporter, my number one fan. Sometimes my coach, my tutor. So she's everything talaga. And my whole family, even the extended family, my mom's siblings, they treat me like a sibling. I just get so much love from the family that I think that it helps in life because of that happiness and that love. So I just want to spread it out and have that positive outlook in life, because it's much easier when you have a positive outlook compared to if you're not so positive.
Now, continuing the streak of proving people wrong, you continue to prove people wrong when they say athletes have no rhythm. Because we've all seen your dance TikToks and you dance so well. Like, I've seen Nina post na parang she wants you guys to dance like BTS together.
Yeah.
And like, Jamie, is there anything like you cannot do? Parang dancing, math, tapos being an athlete, like juggled in one, you are quite really like a mystery, but also a woman full of many surprises. Like,
Thank you. I'm so touched naman.
no, because I'm witness to all the things that you've accomplished and all the things that you're passionate about. You give all of the things that you love 100%. That includes dancing. That includes even your love for BTS. Which, share to
Yeah.
us, how did that passion start?
It started with Dynamite, of course, because it was like the anthem, no pandemic. So are you a BTS fan? I just knew
I
them no
I know of
2020.
them, but I have my own stance kasi. Like,
Sige.
I'm more
Soon.
second gen. I'm more second gen. Like,
I
Girls'
see. I
Generation,
understand. I
Miss A,
understand. Okay, okay.
Big Bang.
Okay. Yeah, so ako BTS loyalist. I love them since Dynamite. Then kinalkal ko na yung mga old videos nila and I am a fan. So we are crazy about them. Kami ni Nina, we
I
did permission
know.
to dance Butter and Dynamite in the mall.
Oh my god! And who is your favorite BTS member?
Girl. Oh my gosh, I cannot choose. I can't choose, but it's Jungkook and Jimin and V. It's the oh my gosh, it's the basic choice, but I cannot choose.
What's BTS to you? Because it's a lot of things to many people. You know, I can't believe I'm asking this question. Pero I also have my best friend.
Oh yeah.
Also for her, kasi she would, when you talk about BTS, like she would tell me, they're my boyfriends, they're my life. That's how
All
she
of
would describe.
them.
They are the silver lining in the
In life.
stress. So I was like, wow, that's so poetic. So,
Yeah.
and all BTS fans talaga, they have different definitions of what BTS is to them. And you can see that that passion and love really runs deep. So for you, you know, what's BTS for you?
Yeah, for me, it's like the family bonding because my mom and the siblings, I taught them dynamite, so they know dynamite, and that became like a weekly thing when we would have family get-togethers. We would do dynamite together. So it's so cute because it became a family thing. Even though they're like older than me, I taught them about BTS, and so they all know BTS and they love Jungkook also. So it became so fun.
And you know, your relationship with your family, I think that's been very evident throughout, you know, this whole conversation, is really how you always run to them and how they remain to be your strength. Now, you have such a close relationship with your mom, and you know, tell us like how you cultivate that kind of mother-daughter relationship, because while we always have, of course, that we can't explain that bond we have with our mothers, it still takes work. You have to still put in the work to always be close to your mom. So,
Yes.
you know, what are the ways that you and your mom bond aside from BTS?
Well, we have meals together, especially this pandemic. We really prioritize them. Like, even though we wouldn't be together when she has work or when I'm training, we'd make sure to sit down together during meals. So that's really one of the small things every day that you don't really notice as big events, but they really are when you put them together. So we make sure to talk about our day, and it doesn't get boring because I think also the way we understand each other, we have a great dynamic. Sometimes she's my friend, sometimes she's my mom. So it's really great, and it's easy for me to do that because she makes it easy. So it's not, nothing is forced, and we just have to do that, and it becomes fun and easy.
Now, you're no stranger to beginnings. We can see how after you ended with your college career, you immediately went on with your athlete career. You know, what's next? What does the future have in store for you?
Well, what I'm eyeing this year is the SEA Games, and I'm also gonna be competing in the Premier League. It's gonna be my first time because I entered the top 32, and only the top 32 athletes get to compete. And so I'm excited about that. It's gonna be a first time, and I'm also eyeing the Asian Games. It's also gonna be my first time this year in September. So yun yung next. It's gonna be a bigger challenge compared to SEA Games, of course, but kaya yan, and I believe. And soon in the future, I hope to study data science or work in the area of data science. So that's another job that I'm gonna have to dive into again. Just like how I did from college to the national team, then back to the studying part again.
A lot of firsts are happening this year.
Yeah.
That was a lot to take in, just hearing your plans. But so when do you see yourself, I guess, quote unquote, maybe retiring in karate to pursue naman data sciences?
I am seeing. I think Asian Games is gonna be. I think gonna be the last maybe. But I'm talking with my coach, and he really wants me to be. He wants to see me in the top 10 because right now I'm ranked 22 after two competitions, the World Championships and Asian Championships. And
That's
so he
something.
believes.
After two
Yeah,
competitions, and
I
then
was
you're
like, oh my gosh.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you, thank you. So I was shocked to find wow like that already, and he was like just a few more competitions, and he believes that I can do top 10. So, right now everything is fluid after the Asian Games, but I don't know yet. So I will update you.
Oh my. Okay, I will ask for an update. But like, why data science?
Because um, having a background in math, I think it's a perfect continuation, and it's also booming. And I see that the Philippines can use a lot of help in decision making, like in policies. So when you have data on your side, and you get to make decisions better. So I think from math to data science and to help the country, I think that's perfect.
Wow. Now, what a noble cause that you plan to get yourself into. We've talked a lot about beginnings, but now we talk about the end. And as we end this conversation, what's the end goal for Jamie Lim? You've started a lot of things, but what's the end goal?
Yes. Well, I just really want to make my family proud and make the country proud and just make a difference, a positive impact sa country. And I think if I just keep continuing what I'm doing, I'm on the right track naman. So, and as long as I enjoy, it's all gonna be good and worth it.
And I, for one, am very excited to see because you are already there, like blazing and shining, and we are just all here, all fans are just in awe of you. And to see all of us are like really keeping our attention on you on how you're gonna be achieving all of these many things, and we can't help but root for you because hello, let's all support each other and for the bigger picture that you always mention for the country, for your family. So thank you so much, Jamie, for your time, for like the cuentos and just
Yeah.
oh my God, you're an intense person. You're an intense person under a really smiley personality. Like it's tough to digest because there's like cognitive dissonance. Parang usually strong people have such strong personalities, but you're so gentle. But when you talk and like your plans for life and your mindset and your lifestyle is really intense, it's overwhelming.
No, Denise, thank you so much. Parang, you made me feel so happy today. Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed the cuento and super touched ako. Grabe.
I'm the one who's touched. Like, I'm honestly, like, I see why, well, I'm already inspired, but I really even see more na for you, there's really nowhere to go but up. Like, success
Oo.
is hardwired into your DNA just because of who you are and who you've become as a person. So I, for one, am very, very, like, privileged to interview
Oh,
Jamie Lim in my podcast. So thank you,
oh,
Jamie.
thank you. Thank you for having me, Denise.
And as we end, I guess, can you give a shout out or like a message to all your supporters, your fans, family, and friends
Yes.
as you continue
Well,
to keep venturing out into this world?
yes. Oh, I want to thank, of course, all the fans who have been supporting me ever since my karate journey, like 2019 up to now. I feel the love and the support. And of course, my family, my support system, they're why I'm here. They're my rock. And my teammates, of course, super fun to be with them in this bubble, even though it's difficult. At least you get to have fun. And syempre, Karate Filipinas and PSC for the continuous support. And to all the Filipinos, let's fight again this SEA Games and Asian Games. Let's go!
Jamie Lim, an inspiration. Thank you so much, Jamie, for joining us. And we'll see you again, guys, in the next episode. Thanks again, Jamie.
Bye, Denise. Thank you.
Hang Time is sponsored by Cuts Apparel. So that's with a Z. Follow them on social media at Cuts Apparel PH and hit them up for your company and sports uniforms and button down biking polos. That's at Cuts Apparel on social media.